How's it going, everybody? This is Tokyo Brandon for a Saturday edition of baseball. I begged WagerTalk to let me do a Saturday show to get the baseball stuff out there on a Saturday, and they said, as long as you get an audience, we'll let you do it. So hit the like on the replay. Leave some comments for me. I would sincerely appreciate it. So I'm doing everything myself solo today, so I might not be able to get to all of your comments, but the purpose of today is to kind of show you how I do my handicapping, show you some of my spreadsheets, talk a little bit about some of the games that are on today, and including KBO and some Japanese baseball. I might be able to get to the comments to take some of your questions. If I can, I will. Not sure if I will be able to. I have a lot of plays out for Major League Baseball today. There's a lot to like. So let's get into it. I might talk a little bit about myself as well. I mean, a lot of people ask me how I ended up in Japan and a lot of stuff like that. So we can get to that as well. But I'm going to be doing the hosting, the talking, be doing everything myself here. And what's up, guys? And I have my friend here as well. It's 1 a.m. in Tokyo right now, so might be some awkward pauses while I get a drink. If my throat gets dry, maybe a couple of typing awkward pauses as well. Hope you can deal with that. I might not be able to entertain you the entire hour, but I will do my best. I think KBO in Japanese baseball might be the quickest caps because not a lot of numbers are out yet, but I just want to give you a kind of a little preview about what I'm seeing. So let me share my screen with you, and I'm going to show you, by the end of the show, I'm going to show you all of my strikes, strikeouts, and my walks and my outs projections. I'm going to show you the entire thing so you can take a screenshot and use it for your capping today. I'll give you a lot of free plays as well. I'm the number 2 profit capper at WagerTalk in 2025. Number 1 3 of the last 4 years, and no other capper can say that. Currently, as you see in that little ticker down there, if you use code TB7, you can get 7 days all access to my plays for $69, I think it was. So it says down there, 7 days of my plays for just $69. That's a nice number. So yeah, we got our Fireball friend, and we are going to have a little bit of fun today. So let me try to share my screen. Bear with me. This is going to be a little clunky, so bear with me here. Let's see. Bear with me. I'm doing what I can. There we go. And there we go. Okay. So, by the way, this is what I use for Japanese baseball. Hopefully you guys can see that. Let me make sure it's coming out properly. Okay. Yeah, it is coming out properly. So this is what I use for Japanese. Whoops. This is what I use for Japanese baseball. So it's in Japanese though, because Japanese baseball stuff is pretty limited. But this is the site I use to get my matchups and to do everything. It's in Japanese, unfortunately. You can click, you know, in this day and age, you can right click and get it in English. But the first thing I do is just peruse the matchups, see what I like, see what I don't like, over unders, and sides. One interesting matchup tomorrow. Trevor Bauer is going against Lotte. So that's kind of interesting. Trevor Bauer has been having a rocky season this season. So let me go to my spreadsheets, and I'll show you how I do Japanese baseball. This is my Japanese baseball. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. There we go. So unfortunately, the stats for Japanese baseball are mostly in Japanese. So I have to import some of those stats in Japanese. But here we go. We got DNA versus Lotte. And then here we got Trevor Bauer going. So I'm just going to show you how I do a normal cap. We got Trevor Bauer going against, sorry, it's in Japanese, but this will be pretty quick. He's going against boss. So pitcher's names in, I get my stats here, and I come over here and to my predictions page, and I rank them in offense, bullpen, and starting pitcher out of 12. So there's 12 teams in Japan. So starting pitcher, Lotte's starting pitcher boss ranks number 3 out of 12. And Trevor Bauer ranks number 7 out of 12. Like I said, he's having a rocky season. Bullpen, Trevor Bauer's DNA team has the advantage here. Lotte has one of the worst bullpens. And offense-wise, Lotte has a small advantage over DNA. Quite a big advantage, actually. DNA is hitting worst, 12 out of 12 right now. So also, if you scroll over, you can get team matchups and starting pitcher matchups, and then you get the last 10 matchups. So this is how I break down a Japanese game. Nothing of interest, actually. I don't like this game. Trevor Bauer's been giving up too many runs. I was riding him, but he burned me. So the only other game just off the top of my head would be this Chunichi game against Nippon Ham, but this is all in Japanese, so I'm not going to bore you with this anymore. We're going to go to KBO. Going to Korean baseball. So Korean baseball. This is the page I use for Korean baseball. It's mykbostats.com. I had KT and I had LG. So I won one and lost one yesterday. And then these are tomorrow's matchups. So Hama and Kiwoom got rained out, but just perusing the matchups here, that one kind of catches my eye. So I go to my Korean baseball. This is my Korean KBO baseball spreadsheet matchup thingy. And what was it? Kiwoom against Hama. So surprisingly, Hama's doing pretty well this year. And Hama's got Ponce on the mound tomorrow. Ponce has been awesome. I'll show you. I'll get into it and show you all of his stats in just a minute. But we've got Ponce going against Raul Alcantara. So let's go to Alcantara. So I'm just showing you guys how I do it, right? So this is a pretty complicated setting, but I have one where I just put team ranks here and boom, I get it all in front of me. So Hanwha, runs per game, they rank 7 out of 10. Kiwoom is ranking 10 out of 10. So last 10, Kiwoom 10 for 10, and Hanwha is 2 for 10. So career starting pitcher rank out of 10. I have them both ranked better than 1. So they're both really good starting pitchers. Career whip, and then SP bases on balls to K percent. So this is a stat that probably only I use, but as you know, I used to be a baseball scout for Major League Baseball, and I scouted teams here in Japan, and I use this. So what this tells me is how often does this pitcher walk someone compared to how often he strikes out. So Cody Ponce is walking only 18.5% of the batters he strikes out, where Raul Alcantara is walking 23.5% of the batters he strikes out. So generally speaking, you want this to be between 30 and 40%. So both of these guys are excellent as far as walk ratio is concerned. And then the starting pitcher season ERA, then I have the season whip. Both of them are awesome. And then the season bases per ball. So both of them are better than their career. And then we have bullpen. So Hama has a pretty distinct advantage at bullpen. And then team overall rank. So if you screenshot this right here, this is my current KBO team rankings for runs per game, last 10 runs per game, pitching, and bullpen. That's where this number comes from. So I have Hama ranked very, very much better than Kiwoom. Kiwoom ranks last in bullpen, last in runs per game, last 10 days, and runs per game for the season. So I do like Hanwha here. Alcantara is a good pitcher, so I might look at a first 5 inning under. Unfortunately, the Korean numbers are not out yet, so we can't really do anything with that at the moment. So we will get to that perhaps tomorrow when the numbers come out. I'll look at it, but that's the way I'd lean. So this is how I do my capping, guys. Isn't that fun? Let's talk about MLB. So let's see. Need to go back here. And MLB is a lot more complicated because with MLB, we have a lot more stats to go. With KBO and Japanese baseball, I kind of have to make my own stats. This first tab, I use Google Sheets for all of my calculations. This first tab is my future bets. So if you don't know anything about Japan, this is called a daruma. And you start the daruma out with only one eye. As you see here, they only have one eye. And when your wish comes true, you color the eye in. So this is a bet that I won, so I colored the eye in and put him there. So these are a bunch of my future bets. For example, Dodgers break the single season record, wins 117. It's not looking like that's going to come true, but I did put 3% on it at plus 2,080. So, or 2,800. So if that comes in, I'm going to win 84% profit, which is very nice if that happens. If the Dodgers win the National League West, I'm going to win 6%, which is nice. I got a bunch of futures here, like Tanner Scott to have the most regular season saves. He's got, I think, 13 right now. I think he's number 3 or something in MLB right now. I put 1% on that for plus 4,000. So I'll make 40% if Tanner Scott ends the season with the most saves. So this is just a fun little thing. Has nothing to do with capping the games today. So let's get into capping the games today. This is the first screen I use. This is my team's comparison. This is just a flat breakdown of the pitchers and the hitters that are going, the pitchers and who they're facing today. So I already have Tampa Bay's up here. We got Ryan Pepio going against Gibson, and we got the Tigers Rays. So if you watch total bases, you'll know that I always break it down on a scale of 30, and I take batting, bullpen, and starting pitching. So batting, the Rays are hitting they rank 1.6 out of 30. So basically they rank 2 out of 30 here in MLB. This includes current form, and the Tigers rank 7. So both teams hitting really well. Bullpens, both bullpens are top 12. And then starting pitching, I curved this on 30 so I can compare it to bullpen and batting. There's like 250 guys, but I curve it to 30. So I've got Pepio ranked 9 out of 30. That's pretty good. And Gibson is ranked 20 out of 30. So overall, I do a comparison and how much the teams are separate from each other. So I rank the Rays 7 out of 30, and I rank the Tigers 13 out of 30. I generally want to see 10 or more difference here if I want to bet them on a side or on a money line. So let's take a look at today's games. Oh, it looks like Tigers and Rays are started already. So let's take a look at a game that I'm actually going to bet today. Let's take a look at the Braves got Holmes going against Perez. So let's take a look at that. So here we've got Atlanta going against Miami. And it's whatever his name is, Yuri Perez going against Holmes. So Grant Holmes. So this is how these teams rank as far as my scouting eye is concerned. Man, Grant Holmes only walks 29% of the batters that he strikes out. It's a very good rate. Yuri Perez, he walks the exact same amount of people that he strikes out. Not good. Both teams are hitting well. Bullpen, I have Atlanta with a pretty big bullpen advantage, and I have them with a huge starting pitcher advantage. So as you see, the team ranks here, I have Atlanta 10 more than Miami. So to me, that's a play on the money line. So I do have a money line play for the Braves today. I think it's a 2% play that I put out to my clients. So that's where I get that. As you know, I do a lot of props. And so I'll show you right now how I do my prop betting. So this is K numbers. So this looks really confusing to you maybe, but this is kind of how I do my strikeouts and outs recorded props. So we got Ryan Pepio here, and then he's facing the Tigers. So as you can see, I calculate K per 9, and then the team strikeouts per game. What percent does this starter go into the game? And then I calculate that as 5, and then expected K average, expected strikeouts. So I take those numbers and I put them here. And then this is how many outs I expect him to get. That's projected outs. And then this is projected strikeouts. So you see these tabs down here. I have outs and strikeouts. So this is where you want to screenshot this for today, because let me find today's game. So these are today's games right here. So you can see Pepio, Clark Schmidt. I got all of them here. So this gray column is my projection, and then this orange column is the book. Okay, and then over here it's either over and by how much, or under and by how much. So these are my projections. So if you're going to screenshot something, screenshot this. This tells you my outs projection for these pitchers. As you can see, I have Clark Schmidt projected at 17.6 outs recorded, and the book only has him at 16.5. So that's enough for me to make a play on Clark Schmidt's over outs. So take a screenshot of that. Those are my projections for today in the outs recorded. And then I also have a strikeouts tab, as you can see over here. So right here is today's games. So my projection is this orange column here, and then the book is this yellow column here. So, and then over here I have either it's over or it's under and by how much. Screenshot of that. And that's one more thing that I want to show you before we get into projections for today, is walks. So I have a pitcher here, and then I have the team he's facing here. So I have walks per game, how often that team walks per game, and then this is my projection. So if you watch Total Bases, you know I've coined the phrase chronic walker, and I get that from this list. So I actually call this list chronic walkers, and Gavin Williams heads the list. And if there are 2 reds here, then that guy is a good walker. Yusei Kikuchi is a walker, but he burned me yesterday. He didn't walk anyone. Ortiz, Burke's coming around. Leader, Canning. Griffin Canning's a good one, but I'm not betting his walks today. I am betting Brian Bayo's walks today because it projects to 3.5. Canning, he's going against Philadelphia today, right? So Canning, although he is a chronic walker, you can see my projection is only 3.1, and the book has him at 2.5. If the book had him at 1.5, I would take his over, but it's 2.5, which is a little high. It's really hard to bet to guarantee that someone's going to walk 3 people. Pretty hard to bet. So if it was 1.5, I'd do it. It's not 1.5, so I'm not going to do it. So you can take a screenshot of my strikeout projections right here. These are today's games. The one where this yellow is empty are today's games. And then my outs recorded over here, right here. This is today's. So again, the yellow is the book and the gray is my projection, and over here is by how much. Okay, so I'm giving you all my information. I also keep track of who does what. All my outs recorded. Overall, I'm only 140 and 142, but I haven't bet all of those. Okay, I'm just keeping track of what wins and what doesn't win. So, for example, my overs are 60 and 52. My unders are 80 and 90. So my outs prop overs are winning. So let's take a look at, I also break this down by person. So Ryan Pepio, I have him 1 win and no losses. And my under projection is 1 and 1 for him. And then outs by number. I keep track of everything, guys. I'm a data guy. Here's my strikeouts results. Overall, I'm 190 and 157. My Pepio projections are 2 and 1. And then if you go down here, if it's over 3.5, I'm winning 58%. If it's over 4.5, winning 56%, etc. And then I calculate down here what the fair odds for my winning projection is. Well, that's just a little, maybe it's a little too deep for some of you. I'm not sure. I'm going to turn off my screen. Oh, no, I'm not. Let's do a game together. And then I'll turn off my screen sharing. Unfortunately, I can't read the comments while I'm doing this because I'm going solo today, but let's take a look at the Royals against the Padres. We got Cameron going against Cease. Let's see. The first thing I do when I'm capping is I break it down this way. I say, okay, Kansas City's going against San Diego. We got Dylan Cease going against Cameron. So I throw up my numbers here and I think to myself, do I want to bet a side? Looking at it right off the bat, starting pitching, Kansas City slight advantage. Bullpen, Kansas City slight advantage. But batting, San Diego has the slight advantage. Both pitchers not really walking anyone at an alarming rate. But team rank over here, overall, I don't have much of a difference, so I would not bet a side on this. You see these numbers down here. This is my pitching number, and then this is my hitting number. So if pitching number is really low, like 1 or 2 or 3, and then my hitting number's really high, like 20, that means pitching ranks high, hitting ranks low, bet an under. And if it's the opposite, bet an over. So that's how I do my numbers. So here, if anything, maybe an under, but let's see. No, I don't think I would bet an under on this. Let's take a look at strikeouts for Cease. Cease is going against Kansas City. So I project him at 5.69 strikeouts, and I project him at 15.9 outs recorded. So from there, I would look at the book. So everything's right here for Dylan Cease. I already have here that I only win 33% of his outs projections, so I would not do an outs projection for him. Let's take a look at Cameron. And after we get through this dry data stuff, I'll look at the chat and I'll take some of your questions. Noah Cameron's going against San Diego. So Cameron, right off the bat, I project him at 5.03 strikeouts, and I project his outs at 17.8. The book has him at 17.5. Not good enough for me to bet it. But as you see, my Noah Cameron strikeout projections are winning 66.7 of the time. So just to give you guys some insight, this is how I do my outs projection stuff. Is this boring for you? Is this okay for you? I'm looking at the comments now. So let me know what you think. And let me know if you want me to give you my thoughts on a pretty good game today. Let me know. I'm open. I'm going to take a drink real quick while I wait for you guys to give me a comment. So first five. I do first fives if I have a team that hits really well and they're going against a poor pitcher, but they don't have a good bullpen. Bullpens tend to blow games a lot. So if that's the case, then I would take a first five. But there's two things that really frustrate me about doing baseball. The first thing is when I take a run line -1.5, the team that I'm on wins, but only wins by 1, and I lose my bet. I hate that. The second thing I hate the most is taking a first five, losing it, and then the team comes back and wins the game. I hate that. So I've laid off first fives. Recently, I've laid off first fives. Roy, if you just write thoughts, it doesn't help me. I can't help you. Let's see. Schmidt's outs. Let me take a look. Schmidt's outs. Yeah. I have him at 17.6. The book has him at 16.5. So I am playing Schmidt's outs recorded over. What else do you guys got? 5 under for thoughts. Roy, you got to be a little more, you got to make a full sentence, buddy. I can't really understand when you just say first 5 thoughts. Cleveland, Milwaukee. Let me take a look. Cleveland. Let me see. Cleveland is, when you sports bet, you have certain teams that always burn you. Cleveland is a team that always burns me. I fade them and I lose. I tail them and I lose. No matter what, it seems I always lose with them. But they're playing the Athletics today. Spence against Ortiz. So let me share the screen again. And let me share the screen one more time. Yeah. So we got Guardians versus Athletics. So I'll just show you how I do it. Guardians, Cleveland versus Athletics. We got Ortiz, Spence versus Ortiz. So you guys are going to see exactly what I see. So here's what I get. So you can see all of these are red on the bottom. That tells me that the A's have an advantage in every category. Is the advantage enough to bet them? Let's take a look. So Ortiz walks a lot more guys than Spence does. Batting wise, A's have an advantage, but not a huge one. Both teams' bullpens are pretty bad, but the A's bullpen is a little bit better right now, and starting pitching, huge advantage for the A's. My overall team rank is 15 to 25, so that's 10 or more. So that certainly is a playable game. I go a little bit further though. I look into whether the pitcher has a good history against this team, and how his current form is. Has he been blown up 2 games in a row or not? But overall, yeah, their bullpen is pretty bad though. They're ranked 20. So this would be a candidate for first 5, certainly. But actually, Cleveland's bullpen ranks worse. So yeah, I think A's on the money line. If it's decent odds, would be a pretty good way to go. So that's how I'm capping games. Let me see. Is this interesting for you guys? Just let me know. And also do me a huge favor. When I'm finished doing this, go to the replay and leave a comment or like it. WagerTalk will let me keep doing this if I have a decent audience and a decent following. If I don't, then this will probably be the last show I do by myself. We'll bring Adam and Brian back to help me. Any thoughts on first innings tie? I don't bet that stuff. That's crack cocaine of sports betting. You're going to lose your money betting that stuff. So I don't do it. Nerfies, earfies, and all that. People just like to say nerfy, earfy, but you're not going to make money betting that stuff. So don't do it. The number, if it turns red, that means that that team has the advantage in that category. You love the breakdown, Adrian? Okay, great. Adrian, you're one of my favorite commenters on our Total Bases show too. I appreciate you being here. Don't bet the nerfy, earfy stuff, and don't bet home run props. See what else we got here in the chat. Thoughts on the Blue Jays? Well, it would help if you told me who they're playing. But no, I know who they're playing. Let's see. They're playing the White Sox. I do have a play on this game, actually. Let me share my screen with you one more time, and I will show you what my play is. Let's see. Share screen. Hang on. Bear with me. Bear with me. Okay. So it was the Blue Jays White Sox. So again, the first thing I do is I go here and I do this. Savali is playing against Barrios, right? So yeah, breaking it down. So if the row is colored, that means that team has the advantage in that particular category. I make these Google Sheets myself. I was a Major League Baseball scout for a major league team. I scouted Japanese baseball for them, and I used sheets like this when I was scouting and made my scouting reports to the team. So I just kept these sheets, and I keep doing it this way. But as you can see, these two teams don't have enough of a difference. It's only 5, so I wouldn't play this game. However, I did tell you that I have props and stuff like that. So Savali is going against Toronto. As you can see here, my outs projection for Savali is only 14. And my strikeouts projection for him is 3.87. So let's take a look at my outs. Going down here, find Savali. Eyes aren't very good. That's why I'm wearing these glasses. Okay, Savali. So I project him at 13.7 actually. And the book has him at 17.5. So I did make a play on Savali under 17.5 outs recorded. I doubt he's going to get 17 in this, but just to confirm my premonition, I go over here and I take a look at how he's been doing lately. So lately, he's been striking out, or he pitched 5 innings, 4.2, 5.1, 5, 4, and 3. So he has not finished 6 innings all season. To reaffirm my premonition, the Blue Jays are hitting number 12 in Major League Baseball right now. So that's good enough for me to think that they're going to probably keep him down at least a little bit. So let's see his how he does against the Blue Jays. 286 batting average against and a 912 OPS. I would say he's not very good against them. So I definitely will play Savali's outs under 17.5 outs recorded. Are you guys enjoying this? Let me know. Hit the like and let me know. Let's see. What else do we got today? My best bet. Oh, I have several. There's a lot to like today. I'm giving you guys, I've already given you like 3 of my client plays that I've put out. Give me a lock. There's no such thing as a lock in sports betting. Everyone thought when the Diamondbacks went up 7-0 against Colorado, they were a lock, and then Colorado scored 7 and came back. Nothing's a lock, guys. Sports betting is all about probability. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. Sports betting is something you have to take time. You have to build up over a period of time. As I said earlier, I'm the #1 all sports profit capper at WagerTalk 3 of the last 4 years. Last year, I was plus 180 units in the calendar year. This year, I'm at 50 right now, and we're halfway through the year. So I'm on pace to get maybe 95 units on the year, but that's good enough. My actual goal every year is to win 10 units a month. So if I could be at 120 at the end of the year, to me, I think that's a very successful year. So it's not about winning today, which is why you shouldn't bet those home run props. Obviously, you want to win today, but sports betting is kind of like the stock market. It's a long-term thing. You got to climb. You're going to drop slow. When you lose, your units drop quickly. And when you win, you build up slowly. It's like dieting. When you lose weight, it's really hard and it's slow. But when you gain weight, it's overnight and you get fat really quick. That's just kind of how it goes. Let me look at your other comments. Great show. You love my analysis. Great. I'm glad you guys like it because I find myself to be very analytical, kind of a geek. I've been like this since I was a baseball scout, which is probably why that's the kind of work I was doing. Let's take a look at what other comments you guys got. A lot of people ask me why I live in Japan. So let me tell you, I is pissed I'm out of here. What are you talking about? Roy, none of your questions made sense, dude. I didn't know what you were talking about. Let's see who else we got here. Okay, great. I'm glad you guys are liking this. So yeah, one question I get is why do I live in Japan? I went to the University of Arizona, and I actually majored in Japanese studies and architecture. I studied architecture and I studied Japanese because we had to study a foreign language. So they're like, what language do you want to study? I was like, Spanish, because it's easy. Unfortunately, in Arizona, everyone wants to do Spanish, and it was full. So I said, all right, what's not full? And they said Japanese and Chinese. I'm like, oh, geez, I have to either study Japanese or I have to study Chinese. So I looked at them side by side and I thought, Chinese looks kind of harder than Japanese. Japanese looks a little bit easier. So I think I'll go with Japanese. So studied Japanese, and I ended up being actually good at it. And my teacher said, you have to major in Japanese, forget about architecture. And my architecture professor was telling me to quit architecture because I sucked at it. I had enough units to make architecture my minor. And so I made architecture my minor, and I majored in Japanese studies, literature, language, and social studies for Japan. So I studied that for 4 years, graduated, and then I came out here. The rest is history. You know, once you start living in a country when you're 22 years old, your roots start growing, and your anchor drops, and it's kind of hard to leave. So I've been here since 1992 in Japan. I'm 55 now. So, okay, let's get back to the sports. If you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to talk about it or answer any of them. The way I became a WagerTalk handicapper is an interesting story too. Would you like to hear that? It's a quick story, actually, but Carlos Perez, where can I get info on MPB? I just showed you the site that I use at the beginning of this video. That's what I use for it, but it's in Japanese. But if you right click and click translate to English, it will translate to English for you. So what I use to refresh your memory, it's called baseball.yahoo.co.jp/MPB. If you go there, you can get all of the Japanese baseball statistics. But a lot of my Japanese baseball statistics, I make my own database for. So it's not quite as easy as you guys think. I actually spend about 6 to 6.5 hours a day updating my statistics and updating my databases. So it's not easy, which is why talking about it like this is the easy part, which is why I bring a friend. So I never drink when I'm doing my numbers and doing my capping, but by the time, you know, I'm like a professional athlete, you know, the practice. But when I'm doing the shows like this, it's just bearing the fruit of all of my practice. So I never drink when I'm doing my stats. But when this is showtime, I do like to knock one down. So the way I became a capper at WagerTalk, I was actually making YouTube videos on my Japanese baseball projections. And Prez from WagerTalk, he actually reached out to me and he said, Japanese baseball, that's really cool. Where can I get a Hanshin Tigers baseball jersey? He actually just mailed me direct. And I wrote him back and I said, hey, I'll get you one, no problem, and stuff like that. This is right when COVID was hitting. Things were starting to shut down right at the beginning of 2020. And friend is Fireball. So anyway, so that was right when things were starting to shut down, and they brought me on because there were no other sports to do except KBO and Japanese baseball. So I guess they brought me on as kind of an insurance policy in case American sports shut down again. They can do Asian stuff through me. You know, I also do Asian basketball, Korean, Japanese basketball as well. And I'm quite successful doing them too. I do Mexican baseball and Euro League as well. And I'm pretty successful at all of them. So let's do some more baseball projections instead of talking about me. So hang on, I'll share my screen one more time and then we will do another baseball projection. Sorry, it's quite difficult to do this, be in charge of all this and read the comments. I'm doing what I can though. Yankees, let's talk about the Yankees game because everyone's probably interested in that. Big ratings game. Let me share my screen with you guys, and that game's going to start in about a half hour. So let's go over it. Again, let me share my screen. Minute. I think I got it down. There we go. So let's talk about the Yankees. So Yankees Orioles. So as I said before, we got Eflin and Schmidt. So this is how I break it down. Eflin, Schmidt. I mean, it's not exactly as this basic that I'm showing you, because I do dive in deeper at like how the pitchers do against the other batters and what their trends are. If they're injured, I check their news for every pitcher. I mean, it's pretty time intensive. So Clark Schmidt, Zach Eflin. So to me, it looks like the Orioles have the advantage in batting and bullpen. The Yankees bats are quite cold. But starting pitcher Clark Schmidt, my numbers really like Clark Schmidt. But being that the difference is only 4.9, probably not a play on for me. But there's always props. So let's take a look at props. There is one that I do like. I'll tell you what it is in just a minute. Actually, we will come to it together, to the conclusion together. So Clark Schmidt, I project him at 5.85 strikeouts here. And I project him at 17.6 outs. So if we go to the outs that we were looking at earlier, Clark Schmidt, the book has him at 16.5. I have him at 17.6. So I do like Clark Schmidt over in that outs prop. Take a look at another game. I think I gave that one out already. So when I scan the matchups, usually like for a pitcher like Sutter here, I don't really know anything about him. So automatically I just throw that game away. And I say this in a lot of my videos, but the good thing about sports betting as opposed to blackjack or a card game or something like that is we don't have to play the hands that are dealt to us. We get to pick which hands that we play. So imagine sports betting is like blackjack. If they deal you 5 hands, you get to look at every hand and say, I'm only playing this one. It's quite an advantage, right? Of course, blackjack, the odds are plus 100 for every hand that you're playing, whereas in sports betting, obviously they're not plus 100, but that's the trade-off, is you get to pick which hand you play in return for worse odds. So let's take a look at the Mariners Cubs. A couple of you were asking about that. So let's take a look. Just straight up, let's do them projection first. Seattle and Chicago here. We got Hancock, Herbie Hancock going against, who was it for the Cubs? Was it Horton? Yeah, Horton. Here's the who. So this is how my numbers shake this one down. Seattle's hitting better. Cubs are in a little bit of a funk. Seiya Suzuki's hitting well, but really no one else is. Both bullpens very strong. My numbers like Horton, but be careful because the sample size is pretty small. But still, pretty good pitcher. So the thing that stands out to me on this is the fact that Horton is ranked so high and both bullpens are ranked really high. So I'd take a little bit deeper dive into that. But let's take a look at the K and outs props. So Horton going against Seattle. So down here is where my main numbers are here. Horton, I project his outs at 15.8. And if we look at what the book was earlier, I think it was only 14.5, right? Where's Horton? Horton, there he is. So the book has him at 14.5 and I have him at 15.8. So for me, that's good enough to do an over. And you saw this red line here, or this red box here. That means Horton, my projections for him are 100%. It's a small sample size. See, it's only 1-0, but still, it's good enough for me to bet an over for his outs projection. If the book still has it at 14.5, I have him at 15.8. Let's take a look at Hancock. Not a big fan of his. And also the Cubs have a pretty decent lineup, even though they're cold right now. But Emerson Hancock, I have his outs projection, as you can see here, 16.6, higher than Horton's. And if you look down here, his is also 14.5 by the book. That's over by almost 2.1. That's huge. If you see, I keep track here. 1.5 or more over is 10-6 on my projections, and the 14.5 over is 3 wins and 2 losses so far on the season. So I'm going to bet Hancock and Horton both over 14.5 outs off, and we're back to my pretty wonderful face. So your book doesn't give strikeout props or walk props. Well, DraftKings does. I don't know what book you're using, but I use DraftKings for all of my numbers and for all of my props. And another really cool thing about DraftKings is they let you alt the team totals. So Colin, wind blowing out. The wind thing in Chicago is highly overrated. I wouldn't base making a bet or not making a bet based on the stupid wind fallacies about Chicago. It's so ridiculous. Very overrated, believe me. So let's take a look. Fireball shout out. Yeah, for you guys it's morning time, but for me it's like 1 o'clock in the morning right now. It's almost 2 in the morning here in Japan. It's Sunday morning actually. So I'm winding the evening down. After this, I'm going to go to sleep. Forget about the wind in Wrigley Field. Come on, you guys, seriously. Come on. I think sometimes you can think too much. The wind, the umpires, and all that stuff. You're just gonna. It's gonna be paralysis by analysis. So I don't buy into all that garbage. I just do straight numbers like I'm doing here. I have a 2-step process. I do the numbers data like I'm showing you right now, and then after that I do an eye test, which I check how they've been doing, how they do in history. Are they new? Are they a rookie? Are they veteran? Something like that. Do they tend to get tired as the season goes on? Just things like that is what I call the eye test. See what else we got here. So some people saying they don't get strikeout props or walk props on their book. Eagle. So yeah, don't have to bet every game. That's absolutely correct. But if you're gonna be a subscriber of mine, I certainly suggest you find a book that offers outs and strikeouts props, also walks props. The automated APIs. I have no idea what that means. What's an API? Am I stupid? Maybe I'm stupid. What's an API? I don't know. Automatic API. I have no idea what you're talking about. Let's see. I hit Suzuki Crawford Rally PCA at Wrigley Field. Fingers crossed. PCA. I don't know what that means. Sorry. Maybe I'm dumb. You love the data? Great. WagerTalk. Get Tokyo on here every weekend. Thank you. Yeah. The best way, if you're enjoying this show, the best way to get WagerTalk to keep me doing this every weekend would be to go back to the replay and write a comment in that I love this show and give it a like. Costs you nothing, and I'll keep doing this every week. I'll give you all my projections for free. You can screenshot it. You can take it, make your own, do your own capping using my data. That's what I'm here for. I'm a man of the people, as you know. So I would love to make this a weekend staple. It's a matter of whether I get an audience or not. 4-0 Tampa already. Hope you took the over. Is it 4-0 already? 4-0? Yeah, it is. Okay. So I like Pepio today. I really did. I told you that at the beginning of the show before this started. So I do like Pepio. And I showed you with my data, with my numbers. Let's see. Any other comments? Any other games you guys want me to cover, or any questions you have for me? We still have about 10 minutes left. I do have to do a hard out at the top of the hour because Gianni's going to do his steam room, and I don't think we can both use this software at the same time. So I might have to get out in about 9 minutes. So 150 watching the show, you say. Actually, my numbers say 427, but that includes people who are watching it on X and Facebook and YouTube all at the same time. Everybody needs to comment. The best thing you can do for me is go back to the replay after I'm done, leave a comment saying, great show, please do it again, and then just hit the like. That would be great. Also, as you see in the banner down there, 7 days. Use TB7, 7 days for $69. It's a great deal. Number 2 capper in 2025. Number 1 capper, 3 of the last 4 years. Is there anything you want me to review? Reds cards. Okay, sure. Premium Blend 50. Wow, that sounds like a liquor or something. Let me share the screen again, and we will do Reds Cardinals, and then I'll close the show out. How about that? Screen, go to the window. Reds and Cardinals, you say. Here we go. Reds Cardinals. Oh, unfortunately, I don't have any data on Sutter, but I do have data on Sonny Gray. So let's take a look at it. Team comparison. So I'll give you my team comparisons, and then Sonny Gray. But Sutter, I'm pretty sure it's going to come up NA because I don't really have any. Yeah, it comes up nothing. Because I don't have enough data on him. Pitchers have to pitch a certain amount of innings in the last 30 days for them to register in my database. But interesting information here. Cincinnati is batting number 2 in all of Major League Baseball. The Cardinals are batting number 7. Cincinnati's bullpen is not playing well. Cardinals bullpen is playing well. Sonny Gray on a curve of 30 is ranked 11. So Sonny Gray's good. The books, I've noticed about Sonny Gray that the books give him a lot more credit than he deserves. He's a good pitcher, don't get me wrong, but I think the books favor him a little too much. So let's take a look at Sonny Gray's props. Playing against Cincinnati. Another thing I almost always check is how does this pitcher do against this team? So Sonny Gray against the Reds. He's got a 255 average against. Is this the Reds? Yeah. 255 average against and a 913 OPS. So, in my opinion, ever since I was a scout, I use 750 as a Mendoza line for OPS. And he's way over. So, be careful with Sonny Gray here. He has trouble with these batters. But let's take a look at his props. I project him at 17.1 outs today. So I do project him to be under 6 innings. And his strikeout, I project him at 551. Let's see what the book has him at. Sonny Gray. The book has him at 6.5. And I have him at 551. So I'm projecting him under 6.5. My under projections for Sonny Gray, none yet, so 0 and 0. Overall, my under 6.5 are 17 wins and 14 loss. So take that with a grain of salt. If anything, I would bet Sonny Gray's strikeouts under in this game. And you can see that I have Cincinnati striking out only 7.6 times per game, where Sonny Gray is striking out about 9.3. But 6.5 means he has to get 7. So according to this, he would have to pitch more than 7 innings to get 7 strikeouts. So it's highly unlikely. So I would bet his 6.5 strikeouts under if I were to bet that game. Okay, so I'm just trying to give you guys a feel of how I break games down as WagerTalk's #1 capper 3 of the last 4 years. This is how I break it down. So with baseball, this is why baseball is the best sport to bet, because there's so many different options. You can bet props, strikeouts, walks. You can bet sides. You can bet first 5. You can bet almost anything you want. And to me, baseball is the best one-on-one matchup. I know there's 2 teams playing against each other, but at almost every point in a baseball game, it's one guy throwing against another guy. It's a one-on-one matchup, which is why I like to focus on the pitcher props, because teams can drop balls, they can ball down running the bases, but the one thing that there's very little deviation from is how one guy faces off against the other guy. So that's why I like to focus on the pitchers and do it that way. So I appreciate you guys watching. Again, TB7, 7 days to get 7 days access for $69. I have a ton of plays out today. I gave you about 4 of them here, but I do have more. Please go to the replay and give me a comment and give me a like on the replay. WagerTalk will read them. And whether I do this next week or not will depend on your response and how you guys do. David Talk, I appreciate it. Savvy Conversations. Nice name. That's cool. Let's see. Some of you were saying, what about the Diamondbacks? Let me give you a little information on the Diamondbacks, and then I'll close this out. Hang on. Where's the Diamondbacks? Who are they playing? Let's see. Now, this is at Colorado. So my numbers don't work in that monkey ballpark. I don't like that ballpark. So I generally just skip over that game. That's another one of those hands that I'm not going to play if it's dealt to me. I just skip over it. Might do a pitcher prop, probably not. That is a monkey ballpark, and I'm not going to do any games that are played in Colorado. Savvy Conversations, you buy my picks. I sincerely appreciate it. To be honest, all I'm trying to do is make money for you guys. It's not about ego. It's not about you, and that's what I'm going to keep doing. Am I muted? Can you guys hear me? You cannot hear me. Hang on a sec. Okay, how's that? Can you hear me now? Hopefully you can hear me now. Okay, good. My sound cuts off sometimes, so I have to restart it. So I apologize for that. So if you're a normal person, you're paying off your car, you're paying off your house, you are. It's muted again. Hang on. Start it back up. Hang on. Give me a second. Okay, sorry.